ഇന്ത്യ ചൈന വിദേശകാര്യ മന്ത്രിതല ചർച്ചയ്ക്ക് ശേഷം കേന്ദ്ര വിദേശകാര്യമന്ത്രി എസ് ജയശങ്കർ മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കാണുകയാണ്. അതിലേക്ക്.
So should I hand over to you or take another? Okay. Thank you, sir. So I'll just close it.
I'll deal with this and let me, in a sense, where there's an overlap of a question, answer it once. So, first issue is the situation in the border areas. You know, as I said in my opening statement, we have still ongoing friction areas. We've also made a lot of progress in resolving some other friction areas, and Pangong So is notable in that regard. So essentially our discussion today was to how to take this forward. Now you all know that the senior military commanders have been meeting. There have been 15 rounds. In fact, Naveen here has been attending those meetings as well. Now the point is that so long as there are very large deployments in the border areas which are violative of the 1993 and 96 agreements, clearly the border area situation is not normal. So the main point, which again I've spelled out at some length in my statement, is we have a situation where peace and tranquility in the border areas has been disturbed. So the situation there is not normal. The situation there is not normal. If peace and tranquility is the foundation of the basis of how we are going forward, then obviously that is also disturbed. So the answer in that sense is, if you ask me, is our relationship normal today? My answer to you is no, it is not. And it cannot be normal if the situation in the border areas is abnormal. And surely the presence of a large number of troops there in contravention of agreements is abnormality. The second issue, how hopeful am I? Well, we've had, Minister Wangi and myself, we've had meetings before, and there have been talks in parallel. Not only the senior military commanders, but also we've had, I think, eight meetings of the WMCC, which is the working mechanism dealing with this issue. So they have made considerable progress. I don't dispute that. In fact, I welcome that. But they haven't sorted out the issue in entirety. So our effort is today to sort out the issue in entirety and deal with the disengagement, so that it then allows us to look at the de-escalation possibilities. Regarding Ukraine, I would say my most accurate characterization would be that Minister Wangi presented the Chinese understanding, the Chinese view of the developed situation there and the developments pertaining to it, and I presented the Indian view. I think the Indian view, many of you may have heard me speak about it yesterday in Parliament as well. And obviously, what he said was his view and what I said was my view. But where we had a common element was that both of us agreed on the importance of an immediate ceasefire as well as a return to diplomacy and dialogue. In so far as आपका जो सवाल था कि क्वाड का विषय हमारे टॉक्स में उन्होंने बात उठाई या नहीं, बात नहीं उठी, तो क्वाड पे कोई बातचीत नहीं हुई.
So we'll take another Akhilesh from there. On the left side.
Sir, I am Akhilesh Suman from Sansad TV. Before coming to India, Mr. Wangi had made a statement about Jammu and Kashmir that was very objectionable from our point of view. So did you raise this question to him, that when we don't talk about Tibet and other issues inside China, why does he raise such issues? And did you raise the issue of situation in Indo-Pacific also to him?
Sir, here this side. Wait.
Sir, this is Mukesh Kaushik from Dainik Bhaskar. After 3 hours of talk with Mr. Wang, how hopeful you are that Prime Minister Modi would be able to visit Beijing for BRICS Summit? And did he extend invitation for Mr. Modi to come to BRICS?
There was one more hand. That's it. Siddhant, please.
So Siddhant from Beyond, my question is, was terrorism emanating from Pakistan discussed during the talks today? Also, has the Chinese side extended invite for the meeting they are hosting on Afghanistan, the foreign ministers meeting in Beijing?
And the last question, that's it. Who was it?
Yeah, Maha Siddiqui from CNN News 18. Here, sir.
Straight behind.
Maha Siddiqui from CNN News 18. Sir, the visit was significant since you've already laid out the details for us. Why was it then not announced before he came here? And has any timeline been set for disengagement and de-escalation so that the Prime Minister can then engage at his level at the BRICS Summit?
So should I? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Akhileshji, your question, did the issue of what Minister Wangi said at the OIC conference come up? Yes, it did. I referred to it. I explained to him why we found that statement objectionable. It was subject discussed at some length. There was a larger context as well. I conveyed that we hoped that China would follow an independent policy in respect of India and not allow its policies to be influenced by other countries and other relationships. So that was that context. Indo-Pacific, no. Again, I referred previously to the Quad question, but Indo-Pacific itself didn't come up in our discussions. Then regarding the visit, the question of invitation to the BRICS, yes, China, Foreign Minister Wangi and I discussed the Chinese chairing of the BRICS. And they spoke obviously about hosting a summit at which they would like naturally the participation of all the leaders. But that was, in response to the last question, which I think Maha Siddiqui raised. There was no timeline, there was no, in the sense, that was a discussion. There was a parallel but separate discussion in regard to sorting out the situation in the border areas. Regarding the Siddhant, your question on terrorism from Pakistan, it did come up in terms of my sharing with him what is an Indian view of the concerns that we have in respect of Pakistan, and of course what were some of the positions taken during the OIC meeting. On the Afghanistan meeting, which the Chinese are convening, which I believe, no, they did not. They have not invited us. I think can we? Oh yes, sorry. The question on the visit itself. Look, typically to announce a visit, it's done by mutual convenience, and for whatever reason, the Chinese did not want this set of visits which Mr. Wangi did to be announced earlier. So, since we did not have mutual agreement, we did not make our announcement either.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking the time to answer the questions. Appreciate, sir. Also, thank you, Foreign Secretary, sir, for your presence, as well as Traditional Secretary, East Asia. Thank you all for joining us today. Good afternoon.
ഇന്ത്യ ചൈന വിദേശകാര്യ മന്ത്രിതല ചർച്ചയ്ക്ക് ശേഷം കേന്ദ്ര വിദേശകാര്യമന്ത്രി എസ് ജയശങ്കർ മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കാണുകയായിരുന്നു. ന്യൂസ് അപ്ഡേറ്റ്സ് പൂർണ്ണമാകുന്നു. നമസ്കാരം.